Hello, Auburn family, and Auburn, Alabama, and Auburn Stuff family. If you could only see what just happened up in here as I spilled this very giant stadium cup full of water all over a desk full of expensive electronics as I attempted to set sail on this vid/podcast attempt. So in the midst of recovery, a roll of paper towels with an extra roll of paper towels right here, just in case I'm stupid again, and towels all over the floor at my feet. We're going to try this again. So, YouTube, one of the greatest creations in the history of mankind, right? A confluence of miracles to disseminate information and silly stuff. So, I'm going to hit the music here and see if any of this works. Stand by.
Take a look around and find somebody to War Eagle. It's showtime.
Holy cow! Oh my God!
Hello, Auburn, Alabama, and all points around the globe, where the glorious battle cry of War Eagle can be heard and returned with joy, unless you're one of those weirdos that we see in the grocery store wearing a shirt or a hat from a school about which you know nothing. I don't know, maybe you found it in the bin at Goodwill, maybe a friend gave it to you, but you walk past that person in the grocery store and they go, you go, "Hey, War Eagle," and they go, "Huh? Yes, indeed. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good day to you. And I hope that you are having a joyful day. As I try to gather myself, I just told we are being joined by YouTube right up there above my right shoulder here in the palatial studios of Auburn Stuff, which is still a work in progress. And for those of you on the video, you can see the motivational patchboard over here with all of my stuff, and including the Auburn stuff right there. Make note, yes indeed. Back here behind me, collection of paraphernalia. And over my right shoulder, what you should be able to see if the picture wasn't blown out is the Auburn Stuff logo on the television behind me, but I just can't get it. Just can't get the lights right, so we're still working on it. I have this hideous glare in my specs because I haven't put my contacts in this morning. And also on the video, this thing right here, the Roku, which I cannot get to stick to the dadgum bottom of the television because it gets too hot. I've tried double-sided tape, double-sided Velcro, super glue, nothing works. So it just hangs there like dog balls. Anyway, welcome in, consumers of Auburn Broadcast Transmissions. Welcome to Auburn Stuff, the variety show podcast where we discuss the philosophy of life in orange and blue and other stuff that you may or may not find entertaining and informative, but that I certainly do. Warm greetings as well from Anniston to Andalusia in Hickory Flat, Georgia. Where else? Gladstone, New Jersey. Columbus, Ohio. Oceanside, California, home of the 1st Marine Division. Hoorah, Semper Fi, brothers. Hollywoods. Scotland, UK. Belarus. España. Down in Australia and New Zealand. Welcome in, everyone. It is Monday, the 30th of August. Yes, here I am again. Just like last time, quickly turning around this time. I have quite a week coming up, and there's no way that I'll be able to do this this podcast tomorrow or Wednesday, and then I will be on the road to the rolling hills and plains of Auburn, Alabama, where I will plan to do the pod, the vid, and whatever the heck else I can try to cobble together with my limited technological expertise. So we did a live broadcast yesterday, which was a lot of fun. And I got lost there. So yes, Monday, August 30th. The time here in the Eastern Time Zone, Eastern Daylight Time, is 13:50, 1:50 p.m. If you are in the Central Time Zone, in the loveliest village, it's noon 50, just before 1 o'clock for you. And the weather at College of Magnolia is probably getting a little bit of leftover spinoff from Ida. Probably a little intermittent nastiness with the sun trying to peek out here and there. But the real news, who cares what the weather is like today? We want to know what the weather is going to be like Saturday, right? Saturday, opening day at Jordan Hare. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being bestowed with a gift, the likes of which I'm not sure that many of us have seen attending an Auburn football game this early in the season. Brings back thoughts of the 2014 opener against Arkansas that we were at. And if you were there, you know how hot it was, but we don't have any records of it because there aren't any measuring devices that go that high. It was about 1 trillion degrees, and then later on in the game, we all got chased under the stadium for about an hour and a half as one of those delightful summer thunderstorms blows through. And then we got to come out to soggy wetness under the lights and finish that blowout game and watch Nick Marshall come back in and really not do much after JJ came in and did well. But it wasn't Nick Marshall that wasn't doing much, was it? No, it was that typical game plan. Anyway, I watched that game the other day. I've been spending my time as we spin up to the season watching games that would make me happy. And I picked out the 2014 LSU game and the 2014 Arkansas game, and I'd forgotten. I remembered scoring a lot of points, and I remembered being there in the stadium and all the atmosphere and the fun and JJ starting and Nick coming in the second half and all that kind of stuff. But I don't remember how iffy. I didn't remember how kind of iffy our defense was that year. That game should have been well in hand early on, but couldn't seem to stop the run or much of anything else that day until somebody figured something out later on. But anyway, and then there's the I think that game might have spurred the standard operating procedure now when I attend games, which is do not go before October. It's just too hot to sit in the giant concrete walk we love, known as Jordan Hare Stadium. But I took my daughter to the 2018 LSU game, which sucked. We should have won that game. It was miserable. Not least of which because it was 168,000 degrees that day. I mean, it was hot, bro. And it was late September, right? That game was on September. I don't have the schedule in front of me. That game was 2018 LSU, I believe. I want to say that was September 24th, 26th, something like that. Shouldn't be that hot then. Anyway, but I say all that to say this. Have you seen the forecast for Saturday? I'm going to pull it up right here. I think I still have it up right here. What does Dark Sky tell us? Saturday in Auburn, Alabama. Clear to partly cloudy, which we like a little bit of cloud and overcast. With a high, are you ready for this? September 4th, Auburn, Alabama, an actual high of 84 degrees. And at kickoff at 6 p.m. Central, the temperature is going to be right around 78 degrees. What? That's right. With the humidity just above 50% and the dew point, which y'all need to pay more attention to. It's a very underrated element of telling you how it's going to feel outside. The dew point, by the way, there's a technical explanation about the amount of water the air can hold and evaporate, producing condensation, but it doesn't matter. All you need to know is the farther below the dew point, the farther below the temperature, the actual temperature the dew point is, the more comfortable you're going to be. The closer to the temperature the dew point is, so if it's 90 and the dew point is 80, it's going to be horrifically god-awful. Anyway, the dew point is going to be, 63? With a temperature of 78, humidity around 55-60% at kickoff. Oh, glory be. Holy guacamole. That is so delicious. And by the time we walk out of that stadium, around 9:30ish, the temperature is going to be somewhere near 70 degrees. That is so delightful, I can't even begin to stand it. And you know how I feel about the weather. So, I think we did on the live broadcast, and again, welcome into to YouTube as I attempt to do this dual recording here. It's not live. You have on YouTube. You have to do. You have to have 1,000 subscribers or something like that, and I don't have any because I haven't used this medium. I've had the YouTube page. I've been telling you all about it for months and months, and I just haven't done anything with it. But I plan to use it Saturday while I'm there at my little tailgate at the campus safety lot. So we'll give it a test, and we'll see how it goes. The topic today, the title of the show, Stuff We Never Want to See Again. More particularly, stuff we never want to see again on an Auburn football field. Please, dear God, no. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. But it's not going to be all negative because we're going to throw in a few things that we cannot wait to see again. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of this, and if you have anything to add to this particular list. And in no order to speak of, other than how things came out of my head. Maybe it's just things that, as I was thinking it, because I wasn't looking at anything and I just coming up with stuff off my head. Maybe this was the order that my brain presented things that irritated me the most. So I'm going to start with the sugar huddle. Yes, indeed. The sugar huddle. Fooled no one ever. Not once. Pointless. So you all line up, you huddle up behind the football, and the wide receivers lope out to their positions. So you've got 3 or so wide receivers out at their positions, and you have a bunch of linemen and H-backs and running backs behind the football, and all of a sudden they go break and run up to the ball and snap it, and no one's ever fooled ever about anything, because what do you ever do when you run out of the sugar huddle? You fucking run the ball every time, or you throw that ridiculous wide receiver screen, which is going to lead us into probably a couple of other things that are so excruciatingly annoying that we just beg and plead not ever to see again. Sugar huddle. Delightful. What a stupid thing. I'm not really sure who that's supposed to fool. I see middle school football being played on a higher strategic level than that, so whatever. This is probably, actually, this next one is number 1. I would probably say it's number 1 on my list of things that I never want to see again on an Auburn football field by Auburn Tigers. The Wildcat. This is not 2004, and you are not Ronnie Brown. None of you out there, ever. It is so past time to not ever see this damn thing. Let me restate that. It is so past time to see this thing go away from all existence, banished from the universe, that it just makes me want to vomit. The Wildcat. And let's discuss how we run the Wildcat, how we've been running the Wildcat recently. There was a time when a guy named Cam lined up outside and they flung it to him one time in an entire season and scored a touchdown. Yay. When Ronnie Brown ran it, it was effective. Listen, when Carry On ran it, it was effective. But here's my problem with it. If you're going to run the Wildcat, why? I'm going to try not to curse and be vile here. Why in the world are you leaving your quarterback? First of all, okay, let's back up a second. When you run the Wildcat, you're taking a guy who has trained his entire life to play the position of quarterback off the field. First stupid thing. Second stupid thing, you don't actually take him off the field. You stick him over at wide receiver. A guy, Jarrett Stidham, for example, who should not be out there taking hits. You're not going to throw the ball to him. You're not going to hand it off to him. You're not going to have him run a jet sweep or an end around. What are you doing? You're playing offensive football with 10 guys is what you're doing. I'm sick of it. It's a gimmick. It's 20 years old, and it needs to go away. Thank you. Goodbye. Speaking of dumb shit like that, and I alluded to this a moment ago, throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage. And I speak particularly to, that is to say, throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage to wide receivers and not running backs on effective screenplays. Let's take the quarterback, put him in the pistol or the shotgun, snap him the ball, and have a wide receiver take a step back and fling the ball 40 yards across the field to him behind the line of scrimmage and have one guy out blocking 3 guys for him. Remember the first 2 plays, play number 1 and play number 2 of the bowl game last year? Yeah. Never again. Please no. Screenplays to running backs? Fantastic. In fact, strategically placed screenplays to running backs, when your quarterback recognizes there is a blitz coming or a rush coming, you check into a screenplay. The running back is standing there in space while the entire defensive line and 2 of the linebackers are in the backfield, and there he is with not all that many defenders in front of him, and usually everybody's manned up. And you go, boop, toss him the football, and he gets 20 yards. I don't know why we never saw that. And kind of circling back to the Wildcat, really any trick or gimmick play whatsoever. I just can't do it anymore. I'm done with that. Trick plays, gimmicks, eye candy. That's for undermanned teams. That's for teams that have some talent on the field, but they're not really stocked with it across the line. They don't block all that well. They don't execute generally yet. They're a work in progress. So you're outmanned. You're playing, one of the Titans, one of the big teams that has 5 stars everywhere, and you got to try to fool them. You got to try to use smoke and mirrors because you can't line up with a coherent offensive game plan and do anything about it. And how about the trick plays that aren't trick plays? Yeah, we're setting something up. We're going to run this play to set up a play 9 games from now and then never do it. So no more of that. How about a few episodes ago, I talked about when I was kind of looking back at some TJ Finley film from the Auburn LSU game last year, just to kind of see how it was going. And I covered a drive of ours that was just sociopathic. in its tendency to not ever learn from anything and keep smashing your head against a brick wall, thinking that you can fool the brick wall into not being a brick wall. So another thing that we never want to see again, I don't know, lining up 5 wide and running 5 go routes on 3rd and 2. Yeah. See how that's going to work. You got 5 linemen blocking. You don't even do max protect because you don't know how to use a tight end or 2 tight ends. You give your quarterback 0 options and 0 time to decide on an option if you even gave him one, because there's 8 guys rushing in his face. Blocked by 5. Ridiculous, psychopathic, incoherent nonsense. How about things we never want to see again? Seniors over talent. That's the little note that I wrote. Seniors over talent. Let's utilize, regardless of who the best person is for the position, let's just go ahead and utilize who we like the most because they've been there the longest. Doesn't matter if they can execute a play or if they're even the best person for the position. We're just going to use them. Seniors over talent. The heck with talent. Talent doesn't matter. My scheme is infallible. The talent is fallible. If my scheme is executed properly, then anybody can run these. And I like seniors because they've been around. No. I'm going to end this list of negativity, of stuff we never want to see again, with the tight end. And everybody loves to talk about the tight end. And in fact, it's almost flipped around. It's meme-esque. It's flipped around to now people get made fun of. It used to be, hey, fucknuts, can you please use a tight end? You don't seem to be utilizing all the weapons available to you. Why are we not throwing to the tight end? Why are we doing all the things that I just described in my previous 5 to 6 minutes of ranting and not this thing? That's a thing, a viable thing. And now it's gotten flipped the other way because we've been through so many years. There's a lot of younger guys in the media now that didn't see really a lot of Auburn football pre the last guy. And so they just think that the things that were happening were what they were. That was supposed to be what Auburn football was supposed to look like. And so now you get made fun of. You get mocked if you say, hey, please use the tight end. Put in, if it's 3rd and 7, put in 2 tight ends and do a max protect. Maybe have one drag off the defensive end and get in that little crease in front of the linebackers if you need 2 yards. Dump instead of bailing out of the pocket and flinging the ball downfield to no one who's open because there's no one open, or getting sacked or throwing an interception. It's just basic. It's basic common sense football. I forget who it was that said this, but your goal is to kick the ball at the end of every possession. God damn, I think it was Jimbo Fisher that said this to one of the quarterbacks, to Ben Leard maybe. But I don't think he made it up. You want to end every drive with a kick if you can. That's your goal. Either a punt, you didn't turn it over, you didn't do anything stupid, or an extra point or a field goal. And the tight end can help you do that. Just another weapon on the field. Another thing with which to execute your plan. Why it doesn't make any sense why you completely ignore that position and its potential to expand the field of play and tie up defenders. For Christ's sake, at least tie up the defender. Make all 11 defenders defend every blade of grass on the field. I don't know why. Particularly in the red zone. Jesus Christ, the tight end position was made for the red zone, whether it's protection, whether it's an option, a safety valve, or whether it's running a route or whatever in the heck it is you need to do. in that compressed area of the field. The red zone, otherwise known as that place where we've kicked 18,000 field goals in the last 8 seasons. And actually, I believe half of those were in that 2016 LSU game, which I was at. Sitting over there in the north end zone, I think we were in section 39 that night. That was also the day, the night after the game that Russian asshole lit the tree on fire. But yeah, so we were there and watched that football be thrown at the last second of the game right in front of my face, and I'm surrounded by, that's where the opposing band sits and most of their fans over there in that little corner. And I'm surrounded by purple. And they're nice people. I've yet to run. I think I've been to 3 LSU games. I've never been down there, but I think I've been to 3 LSU games, and I've yet to want to strangle one of them. But anyway, so thankfully that play was not executed before the end of the game clock, for the expiration of the game clock, and we won that game with 6 goddamn field goals. So maybe the tight end can help that. So moving on to a more positive note, maybe how about something like stuff we can't wait to see again? And you got to start it with Tiger Walk, right? I didn't go to a game last year. It was just too hard to do it. I wasn't going to sit in a hot stadium wearing a mask with other options available to me. So if you went to a game, certainly they didn't even do Tiger Walk last year, right? Did they even bother doing that? It wouldn't make sense. So the festivity of Tiger Walk is such a thing to behold when you have 20 or 25,000 people gathered around the corner of Heisman and Donahue and up Donahue towards past the baseball stadium and up the hill to the dorm, to the athletic dorm and the football complex. So somebody brought it up the other day. Are we doing Tiger Walk this year? With COVID. Now, I'm not a mask Nazi, but I do have common sense, and that seems to be where we can't. You're either black or white, and there's no shade of gray. So it doesn't make any sense to me to have your players parade through several thousand snotty children and chain smoking adults whose immune systems are compromised, giving high fives and whatnot. So perhaps if they do Tiger Walk, which I haven't heard that they're not, but perhaps if they do, they back the barriers up off the street up onto the sidewalk. That's good enough. I mean, the high fives for the little kids are great, but they'll live. It's the kids. And by the way, Philip Marshall wrote a great article about going to his I think it was his first Auburn game at age 10 in 1960, and just the impressions of a football game on a child. And so anyway, the kids just love it. They want to be there. If they don't get a high five, that's fine. And if you're an adult, you need to back the fuck off anyway. So backing everybody up onto the sidewalks and giving the players and the coaches plenty of room, and the cheerleaders and Aubie and everybody else that comes down through their room to maneuver without being touched and accosted and breathed on, seems like it would probably be a common sense solution to the Tiger Walk COVID infection conundrum. So anyway, Tiger Walk and the glorious gathering of the thousands, the band at the intersection of Heisman and Donahue, and everybody dressed in orange and having a good time. Although you should be dressed in white. This is a wear white game, and it always kills me when we have one of these theme games. And listen, man, I'm not into themes or dressing up, but when you're in the crowd, you're part of the team that is the fans. And so part of your job as being in the team of fans is to show your support by wearing your colors. And if that's one of the great things about college football is 80,000+ people of your 80,000+ people of your closest friends wearing the same color. And if part of the festivities says, hey, let's all wear orange or blue or white, just do it, man. And white's real easy to pull off. And plus, well, it's gloriously not going to be that hot this Saturday, but wouldn't you want to wear a white t-shirt or a white shirt to an outdoor game anyway? It kills me when I see that. You go to the all-orange game, and you got nutsacks over there wearing blue or green or whatever. I mean, come on, man. Pay attention. Anyway, stuff we can't wait to see again. How about the pregame Eagle flight? Does anybody know why in the hell did we ever get an explanation? I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want to do. It's none of our thing. We don't train Raptors, but did anybody ever say why they didn't do the Eagle flights last year? Are Eagles susceptible to COVID? The Eagle statue in the hotel at Auburn has a mask on. Maybe the real Eagle can wear a mask. I don't know. That was just weird to me. So I haven't heard anything about if they're going to do it this year. Again, like I haven't heard about Tiger Walk and I haven't heard about the Eagle flight. I just presume they are. And cannot wait to see that spectacle. Part of what we love about college football, part of what sets college football apart from the NFL and really anything else in the world of athletics. The NFL is so... I've watched maybe about 90 seconds of pregame stuff just to try. I'm not expecting anything. It's preseason, man. I'm not stupid, but it's just unwatchable. And I've gotten so used to being, having cut the cord. I haven't had cable or satellite for years. And so I, generally speaking, don't watch anything. I can fast forward through commercials, and sitting through a live sports broadcast, having to sit through commercials is excruciating these days. And yeah, I could record it where you could, set it to record and start late and fast forward through commercials. But that I've found, have you not found that if you watch a recording of an Auburn football game, you get so mad at the least little things, you fast forward and you miss things, or you just turn it off? There's something about staying with the live sense of the game on television. Stuff we can't wait to see again. Full stadia of mask-free fans. Wear a mask if you want to. If they say you have to come in, you have to have a mask on to come in here, well, then I guess you got to put a mask on, or just elect not to go. But let's not get all spun up. Have you noticed how much the Marxist, leftist, freedom fascists get their panties all twisted whenever anybody uses the word free, and it's not in relation to college? Freedom! Well, I guess you just want to kill babies for the sake of your freedom. That's right, Gert. That's exactly what I said. So I'm going to move on past that before I get irritated and you get irritated with me. So I cannot wait. And I caught some of the end of that UCLA, whoever the hell, Hawaii game the other day. And it's fucking California, man. Good God. If nothing else in this world, thank God that you don't live in California. They got the best weather in the universe, but... And it's one of the most beautiful places you'll ever see, but it's full of insane people. And there they are out there again, UCLA playing a home game, first game of the year back in 2021, and there they are playing in front of 10,000 people, if that. ridiculous. So I cannot wait to see full SEC stadia. Here's another thing I want to see. Kind of hearkening back to the list of stuff we never want to see again. How about 14 play touchdown drives or something like it? 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 play touchdown drives where the offense just absolutely grinds the defense under their feet, wears them out, and scores a touchdown at the end of it. As opposed to a 2-play touchdown drive where the defense goes right back on the field 40 seconds later. It seems I'm not complaining. I take all the points I can get, but my God, man, when you can only score 6 points on a home run ball on a 2-play drive, come on, man. When you can't grind them out, you got to grind them out and then not get stuck on the 12-yard line and kick a field goal. So I'm looking forward to coherent execution of an offense that knows what its strengths and weaknesses are and can grind out a 14-play touchdown drive. As my screen goes dark. Guess I should have reset that. And how about this? How about we bring it to a close with this right chaw? Stuff we can't wait to see again. More afternoon and evening kickoffs. Sorry, Gert. Less 11 a.m. kickoffs. I don't want to have my players having to prepare for a game at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're teenagers and young 20-somethings. They have things to do. I don't want them grinding out a game in the most disgusting part of the day when the fans are also half asleep. Plan my day around a goddamn 11 a.m. kickoff. So, tough shit, Gert. I don't care if an 11 a.m. kickoff gets you to the Cracker Barrel before the crowd. Don't care. I want more. Well, as an Eastern time zone guy, I'll say 3:30, which means that we're playing the CBS game, or 6:30, 7:30, those late ESPN games. Not a big fan of the late night games either. Not too many of those. I love those late afternoon and early evening games, though. So more of that. And success on the field equals less 11 a.m. kickoffs. And that's my point with that. So, where are we at here? I was going to do something about schedule and season predictions, but I think I'm going to save that for Saturday before the game, for when I'm in my little tailgate. So let's wrap this up on the positive note of stuff we can't wait to see again and what I closed out there. And thank you guys for joining me on YouTube. Hopefully this wasn't too excruciating for you, and hopefully all the audio and the video works out. And here we go. And with that, I bid you all good day. You on YouTube and you here in audio podcast land. Now go forth and do something decent with your day and your week and your life. It's game week, folks. We're days away. Days away from the kickoff of Auburn football. Auburn Stuff can be found at auburnstuff.podbean.com, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, TuneIn, iHeart, yada, yada, yada. On and on and on. Every other place in the podcast universe, and also on YouTube, right? I've been saying it for months, and finally there it is. I encourage you to do your audio listening by downloading the Podbean app, creating a free account, and following Auburn Stuff. That way, when we do live broadcasts, you can participate. You can call in straight from the app, comment there in the chat section, or just chill and enjoy. If you want to drop me a line about any of this, the email is auburnstuff@yahoo.com, or you can use that Twitter thing if you're so inclined. I think my handle is @StuffAuburn, so you can look for that. And I will see you all figuratively and literally. Well, some of you literally. But I will see you on Saturday. I'll be there Friday, and I probably won't see any of you Friday unless you bump into me running around campus or having some pizza or something. But I'm planning on Big Blue Bagel for breakfast, and then pod vidcasting from my tailgate in the campus safety lot. So I cannot wait for this Saturday, and I cannot wait to see you there, and I cannot wait for this Auburn football season. And remember, folks, actively support what you like. Subscribe, rate, review, give, and share to this podcast and everything that you like and love. And as always, be mindful, be fit, be authentic. Sometimes it's all you have, but most of the time, it is all you'll ever need. Until next time, War Eagle, everyone, and I'll see you Saturday.